King and Yates, they bridging the gap. From the US to Dubai, put pins on the map. Ball is life, and that's a fact. And a baller's life, about that exact. King and Yates, they bridging the gap. From the US to Dubai, put pins on the map. There's a time to score and a time to assist. Ain't no I in team, let the winning commence. From generation to generation, game don't stop. The new and old school got the game on lock. It's all legendary, it's all necessary. We all been all-stars before February. And after that, King and Yates, after racks. But really trying to get some wins, not just padding stats. Two basketball lovers through happenstance. Built a bond that led to greatness that advanced.
Yes, sir. Y'all hear that? That's new energy, man. You don't like that?
Yeah, the song is all right, but the way you responded to it was crazy.
Nah, listen, the button messed up. I got to get it right. 2022.
We ain't off to a good start, man. Like
that's a great start.
No, I'm just talking about you and the buttons was messed up. That's what we
back. Let's go.
That's a lot better.
It's like the first practice, man. You gotta run it out. I'm here though. I'm feeling good, man. You know, my vitamin C in my glass over here. I'm feeling good. Raspberry flavor. You know,
I was wondering what that was.
What you mean you was wondering?
No, I'm serious. I was wondering why it was a red color. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, everybody else in the UAE, we put electrolytes in our stuff. It's like a yellowish color. Yours was red. I was like,
it's flavors.
But you always got to have some flair with your stuff, though.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just drink lemon.
No, but that's just you. That's just you. You know.
What you getting at?
That's how you know.
I hear you.
You always got to have a little extra flair. You've always been that way, and that's cool. That's you. That's
interesting. You know what I'm saying? Says the guy, this man made me wear pink socks with hearts on them in high school, the senior year. You know, couldn't just give me a regular pair of pink socks like everybody else. He had to have.
So it
was a good call.
But let me elaborate on that a little bit for everybody. That's because my aunt was a breast cancer survivor.
Yeah.
And we were doing it Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so that's why we were doing it. So, you know, you want to make fun of that, and you're ashamed to wear that?
No. Everybody had the pink sock.
Come on, man.
They had the regular ones, but mine had to have the hearts and the fairies and stuff on it. It was cool. I rocked them, you know, with pride. Had a big game in them too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm the one about the flair. You was planting the seeds, man.
Come on, man. Come on, you was probably late for practice or something like that.
Come on, man. BTG Nation.
On, man.
Yes. What's up, man? We got enough people who support us to where we can actually give our community a name. You know, shout out to BTG Nation. Big shout out to Willie Waze. You guys heard the new intro. Man, he came through big for us. That was something that was unexpected, but you know, that's what happens.
Much appreciated.
Man, that's what happens when you come together and you start to put something together that people start to feel. What's ironic is this is somebody that I've known since high school, since TC, right? Bring it back full circle. He's an artist, he's a rapper. He's in Australia right now, actually, which is crazy. He reached out and he was like, yo, let's link, let's do something together.
What's he doing in Australia?
Rapping. Like doing various different things. What's dope is we'll have him on the show next episode. Okay. So we can sit and talk. We can have our hip hop debate. That's one thing we haven't jumped into yet. We haven't gotten into the culture part of us. We've been taking it just sports wise for now, a little bit personal, but you guys are gonna see the full package almost of what Coach and I can jump into, and Waze would be the perfect person to kick us off when we start talking about hip hop, especially with the generational gaps. But you'll like it, and you know.
Oh, I know already. I like it.
Yeah,
and you know what? We got the new intro and everything. That's dope. It's dope. But no disrespect to your little brother Jameson. Like Jameson came through with some fire that I didn't know he had.
Yeah.
So you know this is putting a little pressure on you, J-Mo. You need to come back with something else, baby.
Listen. So BTG is expanding, you know. BTG Media is the platform. So you guys seen the new intro. It says BTG Media presents the Bridgin the Gap podcast. That's because there's more coming.
Yep.
There's more coming. We're building a team. I got a team around me now. I got some gangsters around me that we're going to be doing.
I have a team around me.
Yeah.
Around him.
Yeah.
Everything evolves around you.
Wrong.
No, I'm saying that's the way you just put it, though. If people didn't know, that's what they would assume.
Listen, I had a vision I knew I couldn't do by myself. And then I was like, coming from basketball, you need people to do some things, and I can help them do some things for themselves. So
basically, when you get to a certain level, you just cast me aside?
Nah, listen, I'm trying to make you get passive income. We're going to put it together. You don't have to do nothing. I got something for you.
I just want everybody to know I'm the content. I got my mental Rolodex is worth a lot of dough.
Listen, man,
so
we know we got something special for you too. But for any newcomers, BTG podcast, Bridging the Gap. This is my OG here, Julian King. I'm Ryan Yates. We are here in Dubai by way of VA, Baltimore, Philly, Georgia, Texas.
Yeah, you always got jokes.
But we are here in Dubai. This was my high school coach 10 years ago. Now we're business partners, international business partners. We're using the game of basketball to grow and nurture the youth here in Dubai and build a community much like the one that we grew up with. It's something that's new, something that we believe is necessary. And we're seeing some promise. So for everybody out there, check us out, Hoop Mountain Dubai, hoopmountain.ae on our website, Hoop Mountain DXB on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, all those things. And please go check out their website. I spend a lot of time working with our web team. Shout out to Digital Graphics, getting that together. Those guys are great. And we put a lot of work in there, so enjoy that. But OG, man, let's talk about how we ended the year and went into the new year. Like, how you feeling going into 2022 after the wrap up we had?
Man, listen, with all this going on with COVID and transition from 2021 to 2022, we couldn't be in a better space. And that's from all the hard work that we put in to set things up. And the old saying goes, "There's no sense in complaining. Just put your head down and keep going." So I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Did you get a chance to relax? Because, we always, as soon as we touch off the plane, if we go home from the summer and we get back, it's almost like work nonstop until, December 9th or whenever our break is. Did you have some time to relax?
Yeah, I had a chance. I had some family come over. I had a significant other come over, and my better half, and we got a chance to tour the UAE and relax a little bit,
You gotta tell people. So Coach, y'all don't know, Coach got I don't know what it is about him. He likes thrills. He do crazy stuff, man. I'm telling you, wild stuff. But tell people what you like to do in your excursions, man. It's exciting though. It's exciting. It's dope, man.
It's not exciting, man. It's what normal people do. It's you do something out of your comfort zone sometimes. Nothing more than jet skiing, boating, zip lines, certain things like that, motorbiking, whatever, but nothing crazy. But I will say this. I did have an opportunity to go to, up past Rack. It's called Jebel Jace or something like that. It's the world's longest zip line.
Yes. And
I had a chance to go there. I had to, fill out the waiver forms secretly for my significant other, whatever. And we get there, man, and the joint is high. I ain't never been up this high before, except when I was in Switzerland. But we get there, man. They strap me in and everything. And I'm cool, but there's a weight limit. You know what I mean? And so I just barely make the weight limit because I've been stressed a little bit. Yeah. I haven't been working out as much.
Donuts.
Shut up. That's always been a part of my game. You know what I'm saying?
Good choice, though.
So we get there and they get ready to strap me in, and I'm looking at my significant other. She's already in there, but she's vertical. I'm like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Vertical. Yeah. And so they the dude that's strapping me in is lifting me up, but I'm so heavy, he can't do me by himself.
Right.
So he got to call the manager over, the other dude. So I'm embarrassed, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they lifted me up. And when they lift me up vertical, all my weight came forward and my chin strap, I almost strangled myself, Yates.
So hold on, they had you laid out like Superman?
Well, no, you got your hands behind your back.
Oh,
you got to hold this strap, right? Because if you get your arms loose like that, you could break something because you're going 70 miles per hour.
Right.
So they get me up like this, and I'm head first.
So hold
on, man. I'm head first.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hold up. What?
Yeah, so I'm okay with that because I don't mind. Because once I decide to do something, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna jump out of a plane one day. But then when all my weight comes forward because they take so long to get me ready, all that stuff comes around my chin strap, and I start feeling uncomfortable. And anybody that knows me, you know me from the movies. Yeah. What movie were we gonna watch that time?
I think it was Bad Boys for Life.
Bad Boys for Life. I got up and walked out that joint. Like if I'm uncomfortable, I don't do it. Yeah. So I was like, yo, can you loosen my chin strap a little bit? And so dude kind of like brushed me off a little. You'll be all right. No, I won't. And if you don't loosen my chin strap and I go on the other side and something happened, I'm gonna come back up the mountain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, word.
So I started saying, yo, give me a second, And so we were the first two. And so there were like, 6 people behind us. I said, I need a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't feel comfortable. I got all this weight on my throat, on my shoulders. I said, we got to do something else. And y'all took too long, whatever. And it basically was like, you were too heavy. You know what I'm saying? So I said, all right, I'm going to get out and I'll be the last one. So the policy is if you get out, that's a wrap. You guys got to pay for a new one. I was like, dang. Yeah. But as soon as I started saying, just take me out, it was like, nah, you got it. You got this. I said, nah, listen, I know me. Mm-hmm. Take me out. Yeah. And as soon as they started unbuckling me or whatever, my significant other was like, what? And she was gone.
so they pushed her while she was trying to ask the question.
So you know what I mean? So I had to hear that the rest of the way home on the way down from the mountain. Like, why? I went by myself. You signed me up for all this stuff. But I said, you had fun? Yeah, I'd never do it again, but it was all right. You know what I'm saying? So my plan is before I go home in the summer, I'll have trimmed down because we starting to play twice a week. Make sure you shout that out before we get off. And I trimmed down to my normal weight. Yeah. And I'm gonna get that. I love that. It's killing me right now.
I know
that I didn't do it.
I know it. I
chickened out, man.
Nah, chickened out. That's love. You protected yourself, man. Yeah, that's good though.
It's crazy.
But man, I ain't have nothing that exciting over break. We got married, so we had to figure some things that we wanted to take a little honeymoon trip and get out the country, but Omicron variant was rapid.
Yeah, you just gave like 2 new names.
Hey, listen.
Omicron, man. Come on.
Oh, it's Omicron.
Omicron, man.
It's a transformer, regardless, right? So it popped up and I was like, look, we business owners, so we can't look at everything like most people who like employees. I was like, look, if I get sick and catch something from, whatever's going on from a little trip, we down down heavy. Yeah. And then I can't really enjoy it. So I was like, let's do some other things. So we chilled. We went and we did a little bit of searching around the UAE, which the UAE has more than enough for us to go find because we haven't had time. So we went to this one place called the Rain Room, which was dope. It's like it rains, right? And then as you can walk through the rain and wherever you stop at, the water stops, but all the water around you keeps going.
But one person enters at a time?
No, it doesn't matter. Okay. Doesn't matter. You got to walk at a certain pace, but once you step, the water stops, but all the water around you goes. So that was dope. That was cool. Cool pictures. We went to see some. It was like an Islamic art festival that was around there too. So they had some museums and things that were up. So it was dope. It was in Sharjah too. So you got to see.
I gotta check that out. I saw the pictures you had. But, I was like, Yates is always doing something real, trying to make it look real cinematic. So I thought you had just paid somebody to do that. So I got to go check that out.
Love, man. Any videos? I know people seeing it at home is like, damn, Ryan is so active on social media and everything. Listen, any picture you see up or any video, my wife done took it, or now Akira Kyle is gonna have it up, and they kind of forcing my hand. They're like, "Yo, you got to content." I'm like,
"Who, AK?"
Yeah, they telling me you got to do this. And I'm like,
AK?
I don't want to look AK.
AK?
AK.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
So I'm like, yeah, dope, right? So I'm like, if you see it up and it's fire, it ain't my doing. It's either my wife or it's AK. But I'm glad you recognizing that, man. That's love. That's love. But it's dope. I'm excited too, because you know how it's like the preseason is always important in basketball, right? Yep. Like once you come back, that first open gym, those first practices are important, so you can set the foundation. Because by the time you get to March and it's playoff times, you should be rolling.
Yep.
Right, and that's kind of where we are right now. We set things up, things are rolling. The podcast, new opportunities coming, business, new opportunities, new partners. Kids are enjoying themselves. They're growing. Parents are looking out. So right now, like a well-oiled machine. We just picking it up and moving forward. So That's love. Any goals you got set right now, or are you still filling them out?
Yeah. I'm going to make sure that in 2022, I really, really watch my language. What?
Yo, 16 years almost, maybe longer. You probably had that for like every year. You've been saying the same thing. You said it last year, matter of fact, too. I know for sure. Man,
so you gonna clown me for trying?
Listen, you always tell the kids, you know what I'm saying, if you continue to do the same thing and you get the same results in the same way, you got to be a little insane. You got to be a little insane. You got to switch it up, man.
No, that means you just putting forth 110% effort. That's what you're doing. Like, come on, man. My situation's a little different, you know. I got stress from all sides coming. You know, that's a lot of factors in my life.
You got a lot of stress. You got a lot of stress. We gonna make you. We got to vent and let that stuff out, though, man. You know what I'm saying? Those things, you know, never know what they can turn into. You know, it'll be a good movie or something. But it's dope. I'm glad we got here. Shout out to all of our youngins in Hoop Mountain, Dubai, and our family. As always, you guys keep us pushing, keep us rolling. Thank you for the support, especially in the midst of COVID. Like, even to start this year, I don't know how we've been managing it the way we have been, but we've been able to, you know, skate through without too many big hiccups. And if there have been hiccups, we've been able to work around it. So, you know, talk about adjusting and staying on your pivot and never getting knocked off it. That's big time. But let's get to the goodness, right? Let's get to the action, right? Let's get to the NBA updates. It's a lot going on. It's a whole lot going on. Right now, you guys know one of my favorite players in the league, period, especially a young guy, is Ja Morant. Right, I've been championing him since last season, and he's been doing more than I expected him to do this early. But I knew he was a star. But man, check him out. The Grizzlies on a 9-game, as of today that we're recording, they're on a 9-game win streak and counting. The most wins in their franchise history. I'm just saying. And, you know, I don't have to talk about all the highlights. Everybody's seeing the highlights everywhere. You know what Ja is when he steps on the court. You know, it's just interesting because just when he came back from injury, they lost to OKC after they had beat them by like 75 or whatever. And one of the home fans in Memphis was, you know, saying, Ja, you should have stayed out or whatever else. And now look at it, right? It's amazing how that goes. And that was getting to him. Right. It's interesting how social media and these young stars are starting to get affected by it a little bit, and the fans stuff too. But let's talk about this Grizzlies, man, and how he's leading his team in under 6 foot.
Well, of course, everybody sees the highlights, but the true tale of Ja Morant is that he scores a lot, but he is a pass-first point guard. He's in situations sometimes where his team needs him to score. But he does all the little stuff as well. You know, he rebounds, he plays defense, and he's a leader. And you know, and that's a part of his game that no one really talks about. And that's why, you know, truthfully speaking, I'm not saying he should be in the top 5 MVP, but if you were to throw his name in there at 4 and 5, I wouldn't be upset just because of what he's doing, what he did, you know, the previous year with his team. Being depleted with injuries and things like that. So, I mean, he's a monster, man.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a monster.
The Grizzlies are 28-14 and number 4 in the West, right? And you look at that we talked about Chris Paul and how just him being around an organization changes the complexities of it altogether.
Right.
They walk different, they talk different, they approach business different. Ja is in his 3rd year in the league. And this whole Grizzlies organization has the attitude that he has, the mantra, the swagger that he's walking with, to where he's on the court, they believe they can do anything. Yeah. You see them talking trash?
Yeah. He leads by example. Man. I mean, that's all it takes, man. Lead by example.
What's dope, too, when you talk about him being a leader, people don't get to see what that looks like unless it has those moments like being mic'd up.
Yep.
And they've had a couple times where they mic'd him up and you get to see him in practice. And I see comments like, yo, he's moving like a 7-8 year vet already. And there's a vets there that are listening to him on top of that. That's not something that you can just teach.
Well, you know, he's learned a lot of stuff on his own. He's had to figure stuff out on his own because, I mean, it's evident. He, no disrespect to, the university he went to, but we all know that he should have been playing in the ACC or,
For sure.
Big Ten or something. So
For sure. I love it though. Yeah. So shout out to you, Ja. My Ja jersey coming in soon. Ja Morant, Anthony Edwards, those are the guys I'm gonna see. I'm waiting for Ant to get out of Minnesota before I cop the jersey. So I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not trying to wear that at all. Yeah. I gotta send you some of these videos of Carl Anthony Towns guy. I don't know if it's his own podcast or him talking on Twitch or something, but it's interesting. It's interesting. I will let you see it first. We might do a TikTok and let you
So when Anthony Edwards' rookie contract's up, you think he's gonna leave
Adios.
50, 60 million on the table?
Adios.
I would.
I think, and he with Rich Paul in them, so he would clutch. So they gonna put him in the right direction and get his money. Right?
No, I'm not saying they're gonna get. He's gonna get money, but he's always gonna leave some on the table. But we talked about this before, and some people thought I was crazy when I said that in certain situations, I'll take less money to give me a chance to win.
For sure. For the peace of mind. Yeah. Like when you're a competitor. And he's already had moments where you heard him talk out and be like, yo, I even tell Cat, like, yo, you got to swing the ball or you got to play a little bit harder. Or like, you got to be more aggressive. When you see somebody that young having to point that out, you see his competitive nature. And if everybody's not meeting that and you in that space, either the organization got to change the people around him or he can be like, yo, I'm dipping.
Well, we already know the organization. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, A-Rod there. It might change.
Yeah.
Psych.
Baseball guy.
Let's take it on to Debo. DeMar DeRozan and the Bulls. A lot has happened, over the last 3 or 4 months. But the interesting thing about the Bulls is they're number one in the East right now, right? And over that stretch, DeMar DeRozan has hit some game winners. He's been a closer. And DeRozan has had an interesting career, right? And to where right now he may be in an MVP talk conversation. Yep. But he's had an interesting career because he was always a winner in Toronto too, right?
I'd say that, yeah.
He's always a winner, but they would always say he wasn't the necessary piece to get over the top, right? And then that's what they said. That's what the narrative was.
The problem was, I think he's somewhat a leader by example. He's not a vocal leader. We know that. And when you are supposed to be anointed as a leader and you're like a 2 or a 3, it's hard because a 2 or a 3, the key to their existence is being aggressive. And so sometimes that can be misconstrued as being a little selfish, but he's not selfish at all. In fact, sometimes he may defer a little too much, but he's always played hard. He's always played well. I mean, but whenever your kryptonite has been LeBron, I mean, there's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean,
talk about it.
Jordan is considered the greatest player of all time, and he prevented 10 Hall of Famers, 11 Hall of Famers from getting rings. So it's all right, DeMar. You good? You in a good space,
right? But he was in that transition because he got traded to San Antonio, right? And everybody was like, "Oh, is this going to be the time where he shows he can shoot 3-pointers or whatever else?" I don't think anybody. I think people started to write him off a little bit after that San Antonio thing. Because going into free agency, the Lakers were going here. But I don't know if anybody was still looking at DeMar. I'm not. Let me rephrase that. The media, because real hoopers know the deal. But I don't think they were expecting DeMar to still ascend after going to San Antonio.
Right. Well, the people who wrote him off going to San Antonio are idiots.
Yeah.
And I'll just be honest with you. You don't have to be a 3-point shooter to be a star or MVP candidate. You play your game. Of course, we want people to evolve as they, progress in their professional career and things like that. But for all we know, he could shoot 500 threes every day. But is he making them? Is he comfortable in taking them? So if he ain't comfortable in taking them, don't shoot him. But now I see him, he'll shoot him when he needs to because he hit a game winner a couple games ago.
Yeah, 2 of them.
You know what I mean? So, but if that's not what you're comfortable doing, man, and you've been successful so far, keep doing what you do.
Right.
You know, don't try to be something you're not. That's the problem we have today with grassroots basketball. That's the problem we have with half of the NBA. Half of the NBA, all of the basketball beneath the NBA, guys are thinking they're Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. You're not Steph Curry. You're not Klay Thompson. You're not Damian Lillard. You can't shoot from the logo. Stop.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Shoot from a distance where you have a high percentage, you're successful, you're comfortable, and a shot that you've been shooting hundreds and thousands of times in practice. So DeMar is doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah. And he's with a great team too. So shout out to DeMar for doing this.
All right, let's not throw that word great out. He's a really good team. You know, great is when you've you know what I mean. So because we throw that in today's media, we throw that word around a little.
I ain't say they're the greatest.
I'm just saying, but when you say great,
they're number one in the East right now.
But when you say great,
you know what I'm saying?
Great is meaning you've dominated the East for a couple years in a row, and you guys go to the finals. Okay. That's great.
We'll give you that.
We ain't saying they're good.
Yeah, they're good. They're solid.
They're good.
They're solid.
They're really good.
Yeah, I give them that for sure. You know, Lonzo.
And shout out to Zach LaVine, your boy.
Yeah,
because he's taken a lesser role to help the team.
Yes,
you know, because he wants to win,
and he's still putting up those numbers.
Yeah, he's still,
right.
Yeah.
And so you just talked about how so many people wanted to emulate the 3-point logo shooting or anything. And I think a part of that message that's an issue is some people that are turning are telling them that they have to be able to shoot that far.
Yeah.
Right. And then you look at DeMar, where DeMar has the best mid-range game in the league. Right. And then so is Chris Paul and everybody else. Their effectiveness doesn't go low or anywhere. It's still there. You don't have to be able to shoot threes that far. You have to be a threat to be able to stretch the floor. If you are a guard, you got to be able to knock that down to keep the defense honest. But you don't have to be able to shoot 1 million feet. No, that's not how it is, right? Because no matter what, and I was just talking to a young buck the other day. He was talking about here in Dubai. He was talking about he hates playing point guard. I was like, why? I said, you know how to pass the ball when somebody's open? He said, yeah, you can handle it. Yeah, so you can score. I said, yeah, so what you hate being a point guard for? He said, nah, because, you know, they tell you got to do this and that. Like, listen, like, no, the game is really, really simple.
Yeah.
The game is really simple, right? It's always coming down to the same things. The last 3 minutes of every game that's important is the most fundamentally sound game that anybody can watch, right? So don't feel like you got to shoot that tray ball from that deep. Work on your game, of course, be effective from there, but you don't have to be a 3-point launcher. You know, that's not your thing. But if it is, by all means, let it fly. Let it go. But it's an interesting space because COVID has taken over the world, right? So everybody is going through the same things. And it looks like everybody's like, shit, it's here to stay. So we're not shutting down for it. So we're going to keep it going. The NBA is one of those organizations that said that. So, you know, because of that, we have these 10-day contracts going out. A lot of people getting 10-day contracts. You know, Greg Monroe, Isaiah Thomas, Brandon Knight. I think Mario Chalmers had a quick
Brandon Knight came back?
Yeah, Brandon Knight came back with something. It was like he still had something in him, too. And there's several other people, too. And then Lance Stephenson. Born ready.
And he's still rocking those and ones, too. My favorite and ones. I forgot what they're called.
It's like a Chinese, not Chinese, like it's like a martial art type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like Tao something. Yeah. Shout out to him for bringing, he said those like his like mics. He said, I'm going to keep rocking them.
Quick question for you. AK is working with us now, right?
AK is.
So shouldn't that be like a cue for him to look that up for us?
Yeah. Look,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just saying.
Look up the sneak.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah. Look up the sneak.
Come on, AK. He's so worried about tonight, man.
Yeah. He can look. My man, our boy AK, he turned 23. He turning 22. So shout out to him, man. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, man.
You know. What's it called? Just look at the Lance Stephenson,
whatever and one sneaker that right there. The third one from the left.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
What is that one called? Yeah.
What is that?
Those joints they were comfortable. And they looked the best, of course.
Now I'm gonna pull up a picture on the everybody that's watching on YouTube. I'm gonna pull up a picture so you can make sure you can see it. It'll be there, and then we'll get. What's the name of him? He got this space, but Empire 2.0. I think it's called. No, that's his personal one. I'll find out.
Yeah, but you know the ones I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, Lance, he came back ready to go. 20 points in a quarter, 30 points overall. And, he fills up the stat sheet.
Right.
And he was in the G League for a while with Isaiah Thomas, who also got a 10-day. But first of all, let's make sure we give a congrats because, he got signed for the rest of the season. So shout out to Born Ready for that. He got signed for the rest of the season. But what is that? What are the 10 days going out kind of showing you? Because Lance was out of the league. Lance was playing in China. Lance was playing in G League. And his first game back, he puts up a 30-piece. And then the next night, he follows us up with a career high in assists and 14 assists off the bench.
Well, it just goes back to GMs making rash decisions based on negative publicity from the media. That's just bottom line. Yeah. Anybody that's played with Lance, when they speak about him publicly, they never say anything negative about him. And most coaches don't really say anything negative about him, And so my thing is, but, when you see him from the outside and you see the certain angles and images that they show of Lance, you think that he's wild.
Right.
He's really not.
Right.
He's really just playing ball, and his celebrations might be a little bit over the top, but that's after he's scored a bucket or something like that, and everybody's going crazy. So
he's a fan favorite because of that,
right? And he plays hard.
Yeah,
he plays hard. So when your Lakers got rid of him, I was like, y'all probably could have kept him,
man.
But
we talked about it a little bit more in depth too, because I was pointing out, I was like, the 10-day moments right here are kind of showing how. The league, because they push so much for these youth and the young, that they missing out on the in-between. Like, they're like 15 teams, half the league is tanking, trying to rebuild. Right? And it's bad for basketball. So when you have those times where there's some 7, 8, 9-year vets who are going to keep your team competitive, maybe you guys are just staying around that 6, 7, 8 range as far as playoffs, but you're still competitive and you're still getting seats. Everybody else that last like bottom 16 in the league, they're trying to be younger, which means less experience, means less competitiveness. When they can keep a guy like Lance around and still develop those youth.
Well, you want to keep guys like Lance, Joe Johnson, IT, and those guys for one reason, because they've already made a lot of money and they're playing for the love of the game, and they're gonna teach your locker room to play hard.
Yes,
because that's the problem now. You said most teams are tanking, trying to get the next draft pick or whatever, but top draft pick. But that's not going to happen for everybody. Sometimes you got to go with what you got. And so you need those guys, man, and because it shows. If not, you wouldn't be bringing them up now,
right? And we talk about culture building, right? Somebody has to be there to drop that knowledge down, to pass it forth. That's why Udonis Haslem is still in the Heat's locker room, because his voice is imperative. That's why we had Jared Dudley before, because he's been in the league for so long. He can teach them how to be professionals and teach them how to carry themselves the right way. So shout out to Lance, because Lance should have never been out the league in the first place.
Right.
But you brought up the point about not only was it about the opportunity to get the 10-day, but what was Lance doing when he wasn't in the league?
Oh, he's balling overseas.
You know what I'm saying?
He's
talk about that.
Staying in shape, bringing in a hefty check and not allowing the NBA to dampen his spirits in terms of the game. He was like, you know what? I just love the hoop. And if I can get a chance to hoop and somebody's going to pay me for it, I'm going.
Right.
And that's what hoopers do, man. That's what hoopers do. You don't just, if you still got something left in the tank and there's not any serious health issues, you go play. You go play. And that's what Lance did, man. I take my hat. He came into the league. You talk about those numbers he put up. It's because he was in shape.
Right. That's it. Yeah. And game shape is different. You can run 30 laps on a track, 15 miles, run the stairs, jump up, all that. But if you're not playing basketball up and down, you're not going to be in shape. It's not going to fit. It's not going to hit the same. So shout out to Lance. Trade deadline is coming. It's going to be interesting because, the Celtics still having their risks, and Perk is calling them out. And then the young Bucks, JB and Tatum are responding to it. Now I see that the Sixers say they're open to trading Tobias Harris. as well. Jerami Grant is a hot topic because the Lakers, Knicks, Wizards.
They're hot on him, right?
Yeah, Lakers, Knicks, and Blazers and Wizards. I mean, it's going to be an interesting space, especially right now with the Sixers on a 7th-game win streak. And quietly, nobody's saying anything. And Embiid, of course, is averaging like 30 and 10 doing that, looking like an MVP type of guy. So what are you looking to see? What do you think will be some teams you're watching to make some moves over this break, the trade deadline?
For sure, Lakers, of course, they need to probably. They're gonna get better by subtraction.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Y'all see, I'm here in solidarity.
No, not really. I thought you was one of the lost members of NWA or something like that, man. It's like DJ Yella's cousin or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But no, I think the Knicks definitely need to make it. I think they need to bring in something.
The Knicks are interesting. You've grown up in every era of basketball, right? Almost.
Damn.
All the good stuff, the golden years. You know what I'm saying? From the 80s on up, right? 80s on up. So Julius Randle has been in a back and forth with the Knicks fans in Madison Square Garden. He hasn't been playing well, right? And, he's booing the fans, blah, 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 blah. What, after seeing the Knicks have those issues with Kemba where they were sitting Kemba and then play him and then they were still losing, and then Kemba comes back and putting up 40s and all these other stuff, and they're still having those same struggles. What are you seeing about that team and how their best players are responding and
it all boils down to Tibbs. Their resurgence last year was based on Tibbs saying, I spent time going around the league and being around other organizations and coaches and practices and players and got out of my own way and started doing things a little differently. And so he started putting trust in more players. Mm-hmm. And so they responded.
Right. This
year, you can see he's a little more guarded and he's not really, let's just say, we know Kemba has his glaring weaknesses. He's not really a point guard. He's a shooting guard, trapped in a point guard's body. And Tibbs hasn't really taken to him that way. And so, and of course, if Kemba's a killer and he's not playing and the team's losing, there's chatter in that locker room.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing as a coach you can do to change that unless you decide to change that lineup.
Mm-hmm.
So Tibbs is going to have to say, I need to open my mind up again, start letting a few more guys do their thing, and let's just get some momentum.
Yeah.
Right? Don't be so controlling. Tibbs, man. You get 6 guys,
handle everything and run into the ground.
And they'll play 45 minutes a game,
with a back-to-back.
13, 14 games in a row, and you can't do that, man.
Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, I love to see what's going to happen. I am still trying to see what the Celtics are going to do. We've had talks about this earlier in the year to where I was like, look, it's time, T-Mac and Vince Carter type of vibes. Right? You got to let one go so they can run their own space and there's enough room. I want to see what they're going to do with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I still think that Jaylen Brown to Philly changes Philly altogether. With Philly now saying that they'll be willing to trade Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris, what do you think that opens the door up for?
Right? Well, of course, that would Philly would just that catapult them to number one for sure. But if I'm Boston, I'm not necessarily ready to break them up until I really have a true experiment with a true point guard. I think they haven't had a true point guard in there. Marcus Smart fills in admirably. You know that. But he's more of a guy coming off the bench. He's not a starting point guard. He's a
6-man.
This cat comes in off the bench. He can play 1, 2, 3. He's so tough. He might play the 4 for a few minutes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But he's not a true point guard. Kyrie's not a true point guard. Kemba was not a true point guard. And those guys, just imagine this. Imagine Jaylen on one side at the 3, Tatum at the other side at the 2, and Chris Paul running the show.
Right.
Everybody's going to get a steady diet. You know what I mean? And he's going to be able to feel the pulse of the game in terms of, I need to get Jalen one. I need to get Tatum one. You know what I mean? Tatum just hit two. Let me go back to him. You know,
but like, what's in the league for them? Dennis Schroeder don't. Never mind.
Stop playing, man. Schroeder, you know, hey, I ain't got nothing but love for you, Gumby. But
he hooping though. He gonna get himself a little contract.
I ain't got nothing but love for you, homie. But man, come on, man. $84 million in Cali. You should take that, man.
Yeah, for sure. We could use you. but who fits that role then? So if that's the case, right? One, if Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons on a trading block, who should make that trade? If it's not JB and if it's not Jaylen Brown, who do you see as an even trade for that?
Getting rid of Jalen, there's not any.
No. I'm talking about for Sixers.
Sixers,
Celtics out of it.
Okay,
but on a trading block is Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris. If you're Daryl Morey or whatever his name is, you're making those two available for who? In your mind, who is he aiming? And he's like, all right, we'll make these two available if I can get this guy.
I mean, honestly speaking, probably only Portland, maybe. Because Ben Simmons is he's in a situation where will he fit in? Because you'd have to send him somewhere where you have, at first, immediately came to my mind was Atlanta, because Trae Young is a true point guard, but he's got to score so much for them. And if Ben was there, he could play off the ball a lot more. You know, Ben can't go to Golden State. They already got their crew back.
Yeah, they don't need him.
They don't need him. You know, and Ben, if you're going to get rid of him, you know, it's going to be a team that he can get over the hump in terms of getting into the playoffs and making a deep run. So, I mean, it'd be Portland. I don't see any way. I mean, you send him to Sacramento, Houston, Washington, and nothing. You know, it's just, you know, he wouldn't even help in Washington. You know, I mean, he would help, of course. They win,
but they would have to lose a big piece,
exactly,
and it'll mess up the chemistry.
Exactly, you know, and so he's he's virtually untradeable. You know, we talked about DeMar DeRozan not shooting threes. Well, think about Ben Simmons not shooting at all.
Yeah, and it's a wild narrative that we even have to talk about that. It still sounds crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, what? So we're going to see. Trade deadline is going to be interesting. I want to see what the Celtics are going to do. That point that you made about JB and Jason Tatum is very, very valid. I don't know, like, what point guard in today's game do you put there? Like, who? You know what I'm saying? Like,
think about this. Everybody talks about their failures, right? How they're up and down. If LeBron wasn't in the East, them Cavs would have been in the finals.
Right.
Think about that.
Right. That was a year before.
Think about that. A couple times they would have been either finals or Eastern Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. So then what would people say then? Then we would be saying, oh, they're just one piece away. They're one true point guard away from getting to the championship. Yeah. So it's not a matter where listen, these guys can't do damage to the team if you have somebody directing the team.
Right.
They just can't.
But who could direct it, though? Like, I'm sitting here now, I'm thinking, like, you got young point guards like Darius Garland and John Morant, but they're going to be cornerstones of their franchise. But, like, who would you put?
It takes three things. First thing is, Brad Stevens has moved into the president situation, right? Yeah. All right. He's got to be the first guy to say, look, we need to have a talk. Mm-hmm. Second thing is, he's got to then have a conversation with Coach, and Coach then has to have a conversation with those guys. And then the third conversation will come with whoever they have at the point that's a true point guard. And it's not even got to be anybody that's a natural point guard. Like somebody, for example, let's just say, what if Patty Mills was there? That's all you need. Somebody get it up the floor and make good decisions, because Patty Mills will fill the role the way Derek Fisher filled the role for you guys back in the day.
Okay.
And it's
I mean, Marcus Smart can't do that.
he ain't Patty Mills.
Yeah.
Because Marcus Smart has more of a he has more of a killer instinct in terms of, let me get a bucket. Because remember, he was that guy at Oklahoma State.
Yeah. So who out there would you go get? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean,
the Celtics did have Rozier before too.
But he's what is he?
Yeah,
he's really a shooting guard trapped in the point guard's body.
Yeah.
So that's why he's playing well with who?
Melo.
Because Melo is a true point guard.
Yeah.
He just happens to be so big and he can get a bucket.
Yeah.
Based on the way the point guard position is right now, you think about there aren't really that many true point guards in the league.
Yeah.
John Moran ain't going nowhere.
Nowhere.
Chris Paul ain't going nowhere.
Nope.
De'Aaron
Fox? And De'Aaron Fox, I think they are putting him up to be traded now because stuff's not working there.
I'm tripping.
I'm
tripping. We know who would fit in perfect with the Celtics.
Who that?
But it's a hell of a price tag. John Wall. He would be perfect for them.
Yes.
Push the apple.
Yes.
Up the floor, 94 feet, full speed ahead, putting pressure on defense, looking for my shooters.
Yeah. Everything.
But it's a
heavy. Yeah.
It's a heavy price tag.
You're right. That'll be perfect. I mean, John Wall will be perfect for so many places right now.
Yeah.
Right. And he's still healthy. That'll be interesting. Man.
Yeah, that makes them bigger in the backcourt.
Yeah.
They can switch a little bit more.
For sure. And they got that young big Robert Williams who's bouncy, and they still got Horford around, and they got guys, interchangeable pieces, and that's real good in it. Man.
Hold on, Horford's still alive?
Yeah. He went back. He getting it done, and go back to what you know. That's not bad. I would love to see that. We'll see how that works. We'll see how that happens. See what the Celtics make happen. John Wall is the Celtic.
That'd be crazy.
That might be one of the trailers. Like, I want to see what people will say to you about that.
Didn't they when John Wall got hurt one year, then the Celtics put them out?
Yeah, when they should have won.
Yeah.
And John Wall came back throwing up the gang signs. I love that. John Wall the one, though. All right, we're going to keep an eye on that. That's going to be getting interesting over these next couple weeks. Let's get to the elephant in the room. Let me be clear, too. I see how everybody is dragging Russ. Russ. I'm disappointed in play too because we're 21-20. It's not what I expected from this squad. I have been very clear about everything though. My expectation and everything that I was looking forward to was based on Anthony Davis. Right. I think Anthony Davis is the key to everything. He's the medicine for the disease and for the sickness. Yep. Right. And I still stand by there. But I'm here today in my Laker gear. You know what I'm saying?
/NWA.
I ain't bring the I had the Oakland fitted I could have threw on too, but I ain't there. Low-key at heart.
You can't mix Oakland and LA though.
Yeah, but I had it's the Raiders hat though.
Okay.
So the Raiders is back. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They might be in Vegas now, so I don't watch football no more. But I'm here because I ain't like most people. I'm a Laker fan regardless of the season of what's going on. I'm here, right? I'm here. And I still think we can win a chip. I still think we can win. I still think we can beat anybody. I just going to see what AD going to do.
Yeah, it's all on AD.
That's it. It's an interesting space. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching Bron the last 2 years. My boy was just talking about it. It was like, yo, Bron acting like nobody can talk trash to him. I think Bron in the space now, because he talking back, he just rah-rahing with people. I think Bron in the space now to where it's like people are looking at him as vulnerable. But it ain't because of his play.
Yeah.
It's because his team weak.
Yeah. People,
you know what I'm saying? Like
people, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
As a young player, you're supposed to be barking because, you're trying to take a spot. But sometimes people forget.
Man.
Yeah.
And I know they talking just because it's like, yeah, y'all going to lose. Because your team. And Bron, out of frustration, he can't do but so much because people forget Bron really from the mud. So he's like, "Oh, you talking to?"
Right?
Because we ain't gonna get no win. Because usually he can, scoreboard, but he out there dolo.
Yeah.
They ain't leaving him with nothing. Malik Monk and Melo are our next best players on the team. And shout out to Monk and Melo for like bringing what they said they was gonna bring and being consistent. It was probably been the only two that's been there. even with the wild rotations. But we had a small 4-game win streak that just got knocked off, so now we're 21-20. What do you see? I know I talk about the Lakers all the time, but what do you see going forward?
I've always said, well, same thing you echoed. AD is the key. AD comes back healthy, tough, and aggressive. I don't give a damn who's in the league. They can win. That's just bottom line. Rotations have to be solidified. And I know they've been dealing with a lot of injuries and things like that, but, they got to find a way to get everybody in a situation where they're comfortable in their roles and their space. They know exactly what they do. Now, I do like the fact that I mentioned before, THT is coming off the bench now.
Mm-hmm. And you said that.
That's where he should be. He comes off the bench. He's still playing 30 minutes a game.
Yeah.
So he's still getting his touches and reps and all that stuff. Avery Bradley, I think, should probably be coming off the bench and allow, Malik Monk has been starting, I think.
Yeah.
But I think they need to put in another young guy to go along with Monk.
You know what I keep forgetting? Kendrick Nunn.
Yeah, he'll be back soon, right?
Yeah. And so, I don't know what the hell Frank Vogel looking at when you look at Avery Bradley. I still don't know why he be playing so many minutes. I think he's great in a spot rotational thing, but now he be on the court.
Now he has been playing better, but we all know that's LeBron. You know what I'm saying? But Avery Bradley is better in limited time because he's a little bit older now. This has been Avery Bradley 5 years ago. That's different. You know what I'm saying? So I think they need to start infusing their young guys who can still get it, and they're hungry in there with LeBron. Those guys, because we all know LeBron is going to set them up for success. And keep bringing Melo off the bench, let him do his thing. But it's AD rotations, and that's it, man.
Yeah,
that's it. I mean, they're right there. The teams they beat in the 4-game win streak. Those are teams they're supposed to beat. Mm-hmm. And so they're doing what they're supposed to do. And it doesn't matter how you beat them because it's 82 games.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A win is a win. You just want to make sure you survive and, keep guys healthy. But in order to give them a chance against the better teams, they gotta have some better fluidity, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, and I'm going to look at this camera. I think you with me with this too, OG. It's my message to Russell Westbrook. Listen, remember who you are. Remember who you are. Right now, we can tell that the confidence is not there.
It's wavering.
It's wavering. We can tell. We understand. You know what I'm saying? You are home. You are in LA. It's different. People writing you off. The media coverage is different. But big dog, you are him. You are one of one. What you can do on the court, there hasn't been many to ever do that before. It's gonna come back. You aren't pleased with your play. I'm not pleased with your play, whatever. But you know how it is. The game, it goes and it comes, but you just keep working.
But he had been playing better.
Yes.
He's just got to stop pressing so much. Man, listen, you're out there with LeBron. Things gonna be easier. Just keep playing hard. Don't press so much on offense, and you'll be fine, man.
Right. And no matter what happens at the end of the season, Russ, you are first ballot, right? You are a famer. Your legacy is cemented. It is what it is. All we're doing right now is trying to win a chip, right? You're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Keep going. All them wild people on the sidelines talking crazy or whatever. Big dog, you got it. 2020.
Man, look, you've been in the league long enough to know to worry about those guys.
Look, man. You know, bro. Like, come on, with the fits you pull up with before the game, your confidence should be A1. You the one, big dog. You got it.
If you can pull up wearing that and survive Charles Barkley clown, you good, man.
Do what you want, man. You grew up in Crenshaw. You got it, big dog. But we gotta talk about it. Kyrie and Klay are back. Kyrie and Klay are back, brother Sunshine, and and Klay.
But first, man, you say Klay is back, man. Like
Klay is back
with that headband, man, and that little afro. I swear to God, and the way he wears his socks, he looks like one of them dudes from
the Tropics.
The Tropics, man. Yeah, what was that?
Semi-pro,
man. I'm like, come on, Klay, but. Come on, man. But, I'm so happy to see him back because it's been so long, man.
It's been, they said like 941 days or something like that. Yeah. Like when Klay was playing, Corona didn't exist. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just a whole different vibe. Yeah.
And his last game.
And he was on the way to 60 in the finals, right? He said, like, I'm tired of being disrespected. Like, y'all don't know. Like, all these great conversations come up and y'all don't say my name.
Yeah, he was about to.
Listen, it's beautiful. It's beautiful for the league, for the game. It's scary for everybody else. They got to play against him. Because he came back looking like he dunking on people. He dunked it. Like, what? He moving off the injury? It's like, everything all right? I think that's one of those adrenaline joints, though.
Yeah, that was a 6'7" dunk.
Yeah. Real quick.
He didn't get up over anybody. He just had to get through them. So, quick. But I appreciate him doing it because he don't really get up like that.
My man I think they said he got up 18 shots or 22 shots in 18 minutes or something like that. Yeah. So he's going to let it fly. So it's exciting, especially with what Golden State got popping over there. We won't say too much about those guys because you know how they say we're little haters. But what are you looking to see?
We ain't gonna gaze over this.
No, I was gonna ask you
because I was gonna say Steph.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I'm gonna say as of late, he's been emptying the clip, but the target ain't been getting hit that much. So I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. I've seen a few nights where he's been like 5 for 19.
Is he? I saw 4 for 21 one night, but is he still MVP?
It's still an MVP talk. Still an MVP talk. Let LeBron or KD have a night when not even 4 for 19. Let them go 8 for 20 or something and have 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 12 assists. And everybody's gonna be like,
"Oh man!" To be factual, there was one night where LeBron was 7 for 15, and somebody said he shot terribly last night. I was like, one less miss, he's 50%.
Listen, and he's still gonna rebound, and he's still gonna assist, and he's still gonna.
He's a leader.
Yeah. Same thing with KD, right? Like people just getting used to it, but let Steph have some bad nights. The media don't cover it, but once he starts shimmying and shooting and turning around and spinning around, it's all love.
And one of our one-time callers, TJ.
Oh, he quiet.
Man, stop texting me, man, talking about. Everybody's in trouble now. I can hear him now when he's talking.
Listen,
because Klay's back, so we'll see.
We're gonna see for sure. But I like it though. I like it. But this Kyrie, that's the show I've been waiting to see. You know what I'm saying? Did you see the smile KD had on his face when he's like, "Oh, my boy is back"? Yeah. Harden too. Yeah. That's what scares me. That's what scares me because those three together, and now he plays the 2, Harden plays the 1. And then KD does what KD does.
Dang,
and Patty Mills is doing what Patty Mills is doing. Yeah, and he's
Patty coming off the bench is a monster.
What?
But he was having you see, he had some moments where he was lights out, but then he ran out of gas because Patty's getting old too. Patty done played like 8,000 international games.
Patty played with Tony Parker and Tim and Kawhi when Kawhi was a rookie. Like he been in there, but you're right. Like it's a whole nother space now. Yeah. What are we looking forward to now with Kyrie back?
Well, I told you like I love watching him play, and I do like the manner that Chauncey Billups gave him the most skilled point guard ever. I give him that, no question. I still think they're going to have trouble building chemistry in tough games because I don't care what anybody says. When you have 3 guys of that magnitude on offense, and times get tough. It's hard to figure out who does what, who's going to go win. Because remember, when LeBron went to Miami with D Wade, Chris Bosh took that third seat, but that first year in the finals, LeBron and D Wade had issues in terms of like who's going to go. And then D Wade basically told him over the summer, "Look, man, we got to lead. You got to lead the way."
Facts.
So, but the difference is with these 3 guys, they're all still in their prime. There ain't no age and attrition there. Like all these guys can still boogie. So who's gonna take a step back? If it's down in the shot clock, is Harden gonna pity pat, and Kyrie's just gonna spot up? KD's gonna spot up on us. What are they gonna do?
I do think it'll be a little bit easier than that transition that was made in Miami, because the one thing we do know is that Harden will find you, right? And the fact that much like D Wade when he said, "Yo, Bron, take the lead here," Kyrie said vocally, like, "Look, the ball, as far as point guard, should be in James Harden's hands. He makes better decisions with it. Like, he's the point guard."
Right, but
I think that helps at the end of the games too. But I also think that what makes it easier is KD. If I think Steve Nash has to make the decision.
If Kyrie has said that and he's sticking to that, then it's no problem.
Yeah,
but we've heard that before. Remember, Kyrie's the same guy that left Cleveland to go to Boston because he says, "I'm the missing piece. They just need a true point guard."
Right.
And he says, "I want to prove to everybody that I can be a true point guard."
Yeah.
And So that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't know. When times get tough, what do? What do you go back to?
Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying.
You go back to what you know.
But I think what makes it different is, easy money sniper.
Yeah, but
I think
remember,
no matter what, the ball goes to him.
But remember, there's been times before, whether it be Golden State or whether it be OKC, where sometimes Kevin Durant was a loss. We were like, "Yo, you didn't see him down there in that last offensive transition?
Mm-hmm.
He's 6'11". But that's all I'm saying. We've seen times before Kyrie, was dismissed somewhat or suspended. I don't know, whatever it was for the COVID situation, where Durant didn't touch the ball and was, he tried his best to be politically correct. But I'm just saying, but when everything's on the line,
yeah,
it's a little different. So we still have to see them get through those rough patches, because it ain't no just showing up and everything straight, because, they still got some other guys out with injuries.
For sure. Joe Harris is a big one. But, that's where we always talk about it, and that's where a strong voice as a coach is important. And so I want to see what Nash does in that space.
Yeah, and
how you set those boundaries too,
and they got a strong assistance.
Very strong
coaching staff, so let's see what they do.
Let's see how that works. But they got to work,
But I mean, they got that to deal with, which ain't a bad problem to have.
And also, number 2 in the East.
But how is Kyrie going to play? He can play everywhere?
Only away games, right? And with the 10-day situation, with so many people going out of protocols and everything, him just playing in those away games for now is pretty much better than him just sitting around and only going half. But they have a long stretch in these next games where they're all away games.
So let me throw this at you though. Okay, so the playoffs start tomorrow, and the first round is, say, Atlanta.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, if Atlanta can get things together, right? They've been dealing with a lot of injuries. All right, just so they're playing Atlanta. First 2 games in Brooklyn.
Right.
He can't play.
Right.
But he can go to Atlanta and play.
Right.
Right? Okay. So, all right, just say they get through first round, second round, and they got Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And shit,
shit. I mean, I don't know. They like KD said, look, I'm not gonna force them to take no vaccine or get them into that space like he get it. But that plant-based coming. The plant-based coming. So you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be the plant-based, you know what I'm saying? The Beyond Burger vaccine coming.
Man, the vaccines we got now.
They said we're gonna need a 4th booster.
Yeah, by the time we get done all these boosters, we're gonna have bullet holes in our arms and stuff.
And they're gonna be $3 billion richer. All the places.
So I'm just saying. So when they get to, I want to see what their plan is, and it's probably driving Steve Nash crazy. Like. What are they going to do against the when they play home games against that's crazy. Yeah. Like, what if they get to the finals against Golden State or the Lakers? I mean, come on, man. You gotta hold serve at home.
Yeah. That's the home court advantage is important.
So KD's saying right now, I'm not going to force them to do anything, but I guarantee you, let them fall below expectations. Something be done this offseason.
For sure.
It has have to be, because you play with people's careers now.
Because you say it's business is business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I think inevitably something will be something will happen. There'll be some type of compromise, or there will be a plant-based vaccine that he feels comfortable taking.
Now,
shit like that.
Last question on this. There are 1 or 2 other NBA cities that you can't play in, right?
Toronto.
San Fran, is that one?
I'm not sure, but I know Toronto for sure.
So,
yeah.
So,
and shout out Fred VanVleet. He torching. And they're like on a 6-game win streak, and he is torching the league. And we like to see that. Another one of those underdogs, and he just all game.
Well, you know, whenever I see him play, I always say he's a better version of Patty Mills.
Yeah. And he just about game, right? You know, he had the opportunity to go somewhere else in the offseason. The Knicks should have tried harder, right? But he stayed in Toronto, which I think was the best move for him, too. So he can continue to grow in his space.
He could have grown in New York for sure.
but not with Thibs, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a different space. He like his continuity there. And that's a great coach that they got over there, and Nick Nurse too.
For sure. Yeah,
so,
I like Nick.
And you know you don't want to like, I think that's even more rare, having coaches that you like and that are solid that people can stick around with. That's not something you can take for granted. All right. You know, we don't talk about football much on the pod. Not because, you know, we aren't I haven't watched the NFL in like 5 years.
And rightfully so, because you were a Cowboys fan a little too long. I jumped ship a long time ago.
You know, if I do, you might see me pop up on it with a Cowboy hat soon. The Cowboys, not a Cowboy hat, but like a Dallas Cowboy football hat soon, because they are playing well. And, you know, the NFL is the NFL, so I ain't necessarily, you know, support. But college football was big. I always a big fan of college football. And you know, we do know what we're talking about when we do come around to the football field. We do know. My mom, we've been watching football since I was born. But somebody made the headlines. You know, every podcast, every outlet, everybody been talking about it, man. Like, and I know this is you a football guy for sure. You talk about tailgating and stuff, but AB, baby, Anthony Brown. I mean, not Anthony Brown. Dude, Antonio Brown. I mean, he had a nice exit. I've never seen anybody rock out of work like that before. Like,
who was bad?
How would you quit your job?
You know, he quit his job the same way Dave Chappelle quit his job when he found out Oprah was pregnant with his baby. That's exactly how he exited, and that's a dream, right? When he quit, T.O., Ocho Cinco, this was like, oh man, why didn't I think of that? You know what I'm saying? So like, I got to give him an A+ for that.
Hey, and then he quit and dropped the record. I said, yo, that's the best rollout I've seen from anybody in the last like 12 months, 60 months. Like, that's the perfect album rollout. He quit, went to New York in the Diamond District and filmed a video and dropped the song. And on the next day, it was like, yo, I'm from the pit, not the palace.
And let's not give him too much credit for that video. Like, we give him credit for the effort for making it, but come on, that's trash.
But like, all jokes aside, right? Like, and I've seen the football players, his peers and stuff, talked about it. You know, we see the jokes about CTE, man. That man going crazy. You know, we've heard there's a Reddit and a Discord chain talking about all of the events in his career. I mean, AB is a wild boy. Like, call it what you want. It may be CTE, it may not be, but the boy is wild. His resume says it for himself. But in football terms, OG, he's one of the greatest wide receivers.
For sure. Like, anything on the field,
yeah,
it's undeniable.
Undeniable.
And
for the crazy stuff that I think his on the field play speaks even louder when you think about the stuff that he's done off the field. He's still been able to play. Right? But
the only thing, like, normally if you're on the field play is so great, you can normally skate by with your other stuff, your other off the field antics. It's just that he's so wild off the field that it overshadows what he does on the field sometimes. Yeah. And I mean, come on, man. Like, let's think about it. In a basketball perspective, Dennis Rodman used to wear a dress. He wore a wedding gown.
Dennis had a different hair color.
You know, going to Chicago, they used to have billboards of Dennis, and every day his hair would be different. I mean, it's crazy, but But it didn't. How can I say it didn't affect the team?
Right.
And football more than any other sport, it's a team sport for sure. And AB just took it a little too far sometimes, and a lot of times. And it just gets to a point where you burn bridges, man, and people get tired of it. Because he's so great that they were depending on him.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone can't depend on you, no matter how great you are, they're like, you know what? I'm sticking with the percentages.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, so now we have more information than what we did when we first saw the video of him running off half naked, saying whatever.
Yeah.
To where it came out that Bruce Arians was asking him to play on an ankle that wasn't good, His ankle was messed up. They showed pictures of it. He talked about the shot that they tried to get him.
Mm-hmm.
They sent him to Tom Brady's doctor or whatever to get him to play. And he was like, yo, it's not working. And, the turf here, when you play professionally, college, anywhere, when you go on the road, there are certain gyms you be like, yo, there's a dead spot in this gym or a certain turf. Like, look, I ain't going to be able to make it off here in this New York Jets place. And, this. He showed the text message where he told coach, like, look, I'm trying, but it ain't gonna work. Playoffs coming around the corner. I can sit and go. And they confirmed that, Bruce Arians cut him on the sideline. So with that said, not just this incident isolated, not anything else. Yeah. And so just this incident isolated. Like, does that?
But also there was other. I heard what you were talking about, but I also heard additional stuff with that as well, where Bruce talked to him about all this, and then how it goes. If you suit up and you say you're ready to go, it's up to you to let the training staff know that, yo, I'm dead. You know what I mean? I tried, I'm done. And he didn't do that. You know what I mean? And so if they're telling you, they're calling your number and you don't go in, and you're not like saying, yo, I'm done, like I can't go, then what do they expect? They're thinking that you're just, AB's up to his antics again. You see what I'm saying? Because you have no leg to stand on. And so that's my point. Like, and when you look back at it, he was targeted early in the game. And the thing is, like, everybody's gonna scrutinize what you looked like, how you reacted after those targets. And you look fine. And so when you're standing on the side and you kind of off to yourself and you're like, man, like this, you know what I'm saying? And so that kind of, it just doesn't, we talk about body language all the time. And, and when you have a bad record, come on, man, the first thing, something bad happens to you, everybody thinks about all the things that led up to this point. And so he, unfortunately, whether or not he was wrong or Bruce Arians was wrong,
right?
I'm sorry. In the court of law, he ain't got a leg to stand on. And then you got the night before, he snuck the chick in his spot, right? which is crazy, but he was so careless with it. He let her take pictures and stuff of everything.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And then got him supposedly. I gotta find it. We over here, so it's kind of hard to find, where she was recording him saying, watch what I do tomorrow. Why, you know what I'm saying? So like, come on, man.
Yeah.
And then she got COVID.
So and right, and he got the fake COVID vaccine card.
Yeah. So I'm saying, and then you go on the podcast, right?
Wilding out. And I don't like what he did to Brady.
Yeah, I was about to go to that. He spazzed out on Brady, right? Saying, like, why am I playing on a prove it deal? Well, Brady didn't get you on a prove it deal. You got yourself on a prove it deal. You know what I'm saying? If anything, Brady got you a chance back in the league.
Because what did he do? I think he only had to play one game in Oakland to get how much money?
$30 million.
Guaranteed. You just had to line up.
Like, one more thing. But then, the funny thing is, like, everybody's giving I'll come back to Brady. Everybody's giving Gruden a hard time, right? Because of those emails, right? But we all know that the owner said far worse than Gruden did. No, let's just be real. But Gruden gave you a chance, and you recorded everything, and you, come on, man. So now you just lost some of the trust in the locker room that Gruden had with some of the other players because he's trying to cater to you to help you out. And then again, $30 million.
This is line up.
So you screw that up, all right? Now going back to Brady. He says, I didn't have to, Brady publicized the fact that I was staying at his house. I got my own money. First of all, Brady didn't publicize it. Second of all, he didn't have to do that because I'm going to be real with you. I'm an African American. I don't have any money. I'm broke. And you are a celebrity. You're a big time athlete. You're rich. I wouldn't let you near my family. I'm just being real.
That's a fact.
I don't want you around my kid.
No way.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because if I see my kid do that in Little League, I'm going to choke you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So Brady did go out on a limb for you, and he brought you into a situation that was very fragile. And what I mean by fragile is Brady had 1 year to get it right to try to win a Super Bowl where he was in charge. You know what I'm saying? He kind of took LeBron's role where like, y'all want me to come there. Y'all got to give me a chance to like bring my own guys in.
Right.
And Tampa Bay did that. And so he brought you in when no one else would touch you. Y'all got a Super Bowl, so don't say he used you. You used each other.
And on the last game of the season last year, he made sure he got his 7 catches to get his bonus.
For sure. Listen,
the
man.
Same thing he did with Gronk, but it's Tom. It's Tom.
That's been going on in professional sports forever.
Right, but you say he don't look out for you, right? But he specifically 7 targets to make sure you got your
right.
But
and again, you didn't even have a check.
Right.
So we know you got money already, but you would have been, if Tom didn't give you a chance, you'd have been blowing through dough that you already made. Now you're blowing through dough that's new money.
Mm-hmm.
So come on, man. Like, stop.
Yeah.
You can't do that, man. And it's just, when Ocho Cinco says you might be crazy.
And that's your dog, too.
You might be crazy.
Because it's your dog.
So,
and we want to, we trying hard to support AB, too. All of it within our community. We still trying to, come on, AB. Come on. But, man, when you look at how Terrell Owens got vilified and for just bringing a Sharpie out on the football, right? And how people were talking about, I hate him. I wouldn't want him to be a role model of my kids, whatever. And how he couldn't get into the Hall of Fame. And he could be arguably the best wide receiver ever or whatever. Could probably still play right now. You talk about Ocho Cinco and how he got vilified for the entertaining that he did.
Yep.
Never disrespected the brand of football or anything. And those two guys opened up the lane for you to be yourself, right? Even more so than what Primetime did. Those guys.
And they came in, those guys came in organizations that weren't as nurturing as Pittsburgh.
What?
For those of you who don't know, the Rooney family, I don't know what they do outside of football, but in terms of football, they're one of the best organizations ever.
Right.
When you sign a contract there to coach, you don't have to worry about stressing, man, am I going to get fired in year 3? Nah, they're going to give you a chance to get it together, and they're going to make sure you have the best players and management and resources and everything you need to be successful. And, that organization, Mike Tomlin, an young African-American coach, went out of his way to make sure you had everything you needed to be successful. And what'd you do? You burned him.
And let's talk about Mike Tomlin, right? Mike Tomlin officially is in his 15th straight year of having avoiding a losing season.
Right.
Right? He's already got a Super Bowl under his belt, or he got 2 Super Bowls under his belt. He hasn't had a losing season since he's been there. And he's been dealing with what he had, AB 9 years or something like that.
Yep.
You just talk about how great that is and how he should be an example for how black coaches should be given a chance. Because Brian Flores, I believe his name is, from Miami, just got fired after ending the season 8-1.
Yep.
Where he hasn't had...
Well, they actually won, I think, 7 of their last 8 or something like that.
Right. And he hasn't had a healthy quarterback, right? Miami itself is a dysfunctional organization, period. And he let him go because it's a short leash. Right?
Yeah. So before I want to make sure I got everything right because I'm going to have somebody text me on the side, be like, man, you're wrong. Mike Tomlin has 7 division titles, 9 playoff runs, no losing seasons ever, 2 Super Bowl appearances and he has 1 title, but he won a Super Bowl at age 36. Come on, man. And so, he's a former player. The way he looks, he could probably play a couple minutes now.
You know what I'm saying?
So
at least box. They let celebrity boxers pop it.
So, he's a guy that went out of his way, not only for AB, but Le'Veon Bell. And so when you guys went other places, you didn't have as much success.
It didn't hit the same.
And, so now you got to understand, like, some of the other people aren't going to have the same tolerance for you because they have no idea where you come from.
Exactly.
And so, you can't put this on. This ain't on Tom. This ain't on Gronk. This ain't on BA. This ain't on Mike Tomlin. This ain't on Gruden and the Lake. I mean, if anything, if you're a borderline criminal and you play football, you go to the Raiders. So you went there and messed that up. You went to Belichick. Belichick wouldn't touch you if Brady wasn't there. Come on now. So AB, this is on you, man.
Yeah.
And I think that you will get another chance. I hope you do, but
either way, he got the album coming. I think he might be in the studio with Fab and Jim Jones. I think I seen him in the pic with Meek Mill. So you
just brought their brand of music down.
No, it's not on me. It's the pictures. It's public record, man. He said, stay tuned. I'm from the pit, not the palace. I don't know, man. Hey, we keep pushing, big dog. Keep pushing. All right. Episode 9. I think it's time to wrap it up right there. I think it's time to wrap it up, man. As you guys know, we back with it. Post-game wrap up. We'll leave you guys with some words of encouragement, some words of wisdom, a couple gems here and there. OG, what you got,
man? I just got up, this past morning at 5 a.m. to watch the college football championship between University of Georgia and University of Alabama. And even though I'm from Georgia, I was rooting for Alabama because I really, really like Nick Saban and the way he runs his program. But I'm happy that UGA got a chance to win. They deserve it. They were the best team all year. Alabama was able to come through with all their injuries and all their young guys and make it to the title game and actually win an SEC championship. So shout out to both of those teams. SEC is definitely the best college football conference. But I'm taking something from Nick Saban that I basically I posted on my wall like maybe 2 weeks ago. He had a quote that he was telling his guys when they were a little down on themselves after a loss early in the year. He said, "We didn't come this far to get this far." And so that's profound for me because it's like it kind of equates to what we're doing here in Dubai, where you had plans set for the next 5 years of your life. I give you a call and throw something else at you, and you pivot and you take a chance. You come over here with me, and so I said it would be rocky. I didn't say it was going to be this rocky, but it's been rocky,
right?
And so every day I see myself saying, maybe it's time to do something else. Maybe it's time to go back into a comfort zone. But then I think about what Nick Saban says. I said, man, we ain't come this far to come this far. So we got to stick it out a little bit longer and keep working. So that's where I am right now. So anybody out there, you're having some rough moments, you're having some negative thoughts, some doubtful thoughts, just think about where you've come, the work you've put in so far. Think about where you have to go. And just think about, you just got to put your head down and keep grinding, and you'll keep moving forward. But it may not be as fast, it may not be as far as you want each day, but you'll keep moving forward. We ain't come this far to get this far.
That's the one, man. And it's interesting you said that because I've had those moments too. I was telling my wife the other day, I was like, I've had like several moments where I'm like, do I want to keep doing this? And then I'll go on LinkedIn and really look at jobs. Yeah. I'll go look at jobs. And as I look at it, I get the feeling like, man, you're not doing any of that. Just keep pushing. Keep pushing. Because at least you betting on yourself. Right. It's up to you. So that's a gem. For me, I'm starting the year off with it's in you, not on you. And you can take that however you want. The clothes don't make the man, right? But everything's going to start within. And it's all a perspective change. Whether we're dealing with a new moment in our life where we need to transition and we're not sure if we can take that leap and whether we can do it. Everything you need is already in you. You just got to believe it in yourself. You know, you light the fire and it'll take care of itself. So don't overthink it. Bet on yourself. It's in you, not on you. And that's the wrap up for today. Episode 9, BTG. You know, thank you guys, BTG Nation, for having us as always. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Subscribe, follow us on Spotify, Amazon, Google, all those podcast places. Hoop Mountain Dubai. If you're in Dubai, come bump with us. You can contact and talk to us on Instagram and all that stuff too. I talk back, right? So we got bump and run going. We got some new things coming. So come play Hoop Mountain DXB, hoopmountain.ae. We're here, we're live. And as always, before I let the flows of Willie Waze ride us out, remember, keep it simple, keep it real, and keep going.
Player and coach, the brother to brother. They both got views that you need to discover. From sports, current events to just life talk. Whether you on a fast break or a nice walk, gotta tune in. You already know, G. This BTG Nation and you one of the homies. Just tune in. You already know, G. BTG Nation, the other ones in the nosebleeds.